Hello, welcome one and all. Welcome to my stream. I am PaladinAshe here to stream for you again, and today we return with yet more Satisfactory. Might be mildly distracted because I'm catching the PC games, top anticipated games, vid, but that's about to end soon. But ultimately, been watching that. I'm not gonna draw out the intros. Today we're going to see about getting into making our turbo oil into packaged turbo oil, which means that I'll be able to cart it around, use it, or if I eventually tap into it for, say, drones in the next phase, I can make use for it in other things. Unfortunately, way tucked away over here, gonna be a pain in the ass getting it elsewhere. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But yeah, PC game show. Can't say there's been a whole lot that I've been deeply interested in that I wasn't already aware of, but there's been some. A few indie titles and whatnot. There was this one that they mentioned. Only having it on you is enough for your jetpack to use it. It's just that having a bulk load of it in your inventory is kind of necessary to keep using it. I'm not sure if you've noticed in the lower left, I got this little icon that pops up every time I jetpack around. That's my fuel, and it doesn't use up super quick, at least not with the biofuel, but it also doesn't have very much uplift. Whereas the turbo fuel consumes faster, but jets you up into the air. So you can basically get more actual immediate mileage out of it. Pirate ARPG. See. So I'm going to need to convert about 50 plastics worth. Refinery. So let's see, residual plastic. 20 per. Okay, so if I place down a third one of these, then for 20, 40, let's go with that. Let's whip out the calculatrice. 50 divided by 3 is 16.667. PC games, Haunted Chocolatiers, and Never Ever at this point, because the Stardew Valley developer is basically I'm just having so much fun developing Stardew Valley. Okay. it is a good game, but like it is kind of amusing that like the main reason why it has taken so long, despite being like announced like years ago, is quite literally because the developer of Stardew Valley has been, well, constantly pumping out content specifically for Stardew Valley. Well, it's not even really necessarily like, oh, like expansions and shit like that. It's like wild shit like, yo, further like expansions on pre-existing systems. That looks like the James Bond game they announced a while back. Okay, since I've ordained these to be what they are. Compact, right-going input. That's what I need. Actually, nice and tightly in there. Okay. Now, I have not finished Didon. Have they announced Didon's third season or something? Okay, 1667. Oh. Not sure, like, I think I remember the song. I can't remember. Okay, 16,667 times 3. There we go. That's all I needed. Okay, that's the plastic production. I'm going to put the... All right. Yeah, wasn't that like... No, wait, no, that wasn't from... Oh, wait, that was from an episode from season 2. I thought you said, like, episode 2, and it was like, wait, what? No, wait, when? But no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the metal band that showed up to help with the exorcism of the spirit inside EG. Or Gigi? I think it's EG. Okay. Let us put up a lofted. Let's put in a logistics thing. $50. No more than that. Production, construction, $50. Packaged turbo fuel. Right, I need one of those. You know, it's funny. So, like, there's this one anime out there. It's based off of a light novel by the same author who wrote the Sword Art Online books. It's called Excel World. It's set in the same setting, but like a decade or two into the future. And the main character is like this like chunky motherfucker who's very like antisocial. And, you know, he's kind of like a pro gamer, alleged. I say alleged because the anime never really showed off quite how well he was at that, only that he was just like top ranked in this like in this like one game in this like online thing, because like a major part of it is that it's sort of like cyberpunk and that everybody's got like augments, and those augments are more integrated with the youths who are basically implanted with them like at a young age. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because like a lot of Okarun's growth as a dude kind of comes from the simple fact that like he basically has a massive crush on Ayaka. I can't remember her name. I'm drawing a blank, but it's an A name. it's basically, he has a mad crush on her. Momo, yeah. Like, he has a mad crush on her because she's basically, like, the first friend he ever had. But he doesn't want to fuck that up. And it's not like it's one-sided. She's into him as well. It's very obvious. But, like... I'm moving this. Still, he improves as a dude because, well, he likes her. And, fucking... It's like a similar motivation to the main character from Excel World, but whereas, like, Okarun evolves as a character over time, chooses to, like, do difficult things and go outside of his comfort zone to grow as a person. The main character from Excel World never seemed to do that. He'd always say, I need to get better. And then, like, nothing would ever come of it. It was literally the most frustrating thing. Let's see. Smart splitter. Okay. Overflow. Yeah, like, I never finished Excel World because it really was basically like, nothing is more insufferable when it comes to, like, storytelling as when a character seems to cock tease the prospects of them being a better person, but never really follows through. Hence why I bring it up, whereas, like, Okarun definitely grows in a very obvious fashion, and Momo very clearly reciprocates his attraction. Fucking, dude was, like, in Excel World was, like... Dude in Excel World was basically like, oh, I need to improve. And then, like, only really nutting up at, like, major points. It was one of those cases where it's like his victories were just not personally, in my opinion, earned. Okay, now that that's all set up, I just need to start feeding the plastic. There we go. I could do a return lane. Nothing really stopping me. See, if I were to bring that over here, is there a depot? Got plastic, I've got, okay. So all I need to do is extend this back in this direction. The one downside is that every time I extend this in any direction along this way, I have to remember that the inverse is also true. Setting up trains requires you to be, like, positionally aware. Because what is essentially the end of the train in one area is the beginning in another. Plates? I mean, possibly, but, Okay, this is working, this is working, this is working. This is ejecting plastic. You are not powered. Damn it. Here we go. Oh, that only needs 25 plastic for 50. Okay. I'm going to have to cut a bunch of stuff here. Okay, 25... 25 raise 0.333333. 83333. Okay, actually, you know what? There we go. I only need a very moderate amount of plastic. Oh yeah, a lot of plates, possibly. But I've currently got shit running, so I'm pretty sure I've got plates, like, you know, on the production. And this is producing... What do you mean? What do you mean? It's producing fucking nothing. Is this not powered? Is it receiving nothing? Is this... Please tell me. Please tell me. Oh, thank God. Okay, then what's the issue? It's right there, you bitch. What is going on? No, wait. Why are you receiving nothing? Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, maybe. Yes. There we go. $50. Yeah, Excel World was very mid. Like, it wasn't the worst shit in the world. It's just that I never finished it because it frustrated me with, like, the main character, who kept basically, like, teasing the idea of being a better person, but not really committing. I liked the world building, though. Okay, I need to get some shit out of my inventory like that. All right. Hard to drive. I need to retain a bunch of these just in case, like, yo. This is not a bad one. I'll take this one. Actually, why did I take that one? I already have those down pat. What I need is the current stuff. Whatever. Okay, so this is all squared away. And this is producing at what clip? How efficient are you? Not that efficient. Okay. How about 50? $29.5 times 16, or 72. And these are consuming 0.86 times 72. So that should be correct.
I don't know what to say, so I'm going waste 500 points.
Hey, Chonka. I mean, you could have said the words of your people 6-7. Gen Alpha, Gen Z, it's all the same. Same literacy rates. I'm just messing with you. Honestly, that's one of those subjects I just can't get by. It's like, okay. I acknowledge that the educational system is summarily failing, you know, the younger generation. You know, but at a certain level, a lot of them just choose not to read. That said, from what I understand, the failing the younger generation aspect, like, one aspect of that is no longer teaching phonetics in class. So kids are no longer really taught how to sound shit out. And don't get me wrong, the English language is a frustrating bear to tame in that regard. Because you've got, like, loan word mixture name. Like, okay, in America alone, Arkansas and Kansas, you know, one could be Arkansas, the other could be, you know, Kansas, but they're pronounced differently for no seeming reason. And it's quite literally because one's French and the other isn't. But, like, that's not all words in the English language. Once you get a feel for, like, what sounds what way in, like, when pronounced together, it's all foundational, but unfortunately schools have decided not to do that and favor vibes. I started reading when I was 5. My grandmother gave me Grimm's fairy tales in Old German, and Old German was shit to read. Yeah, we don't start to experience quote-unquote Old English until, one sec. There we go. We don't start to experience Old English until, like, we start reading shit like Shakespeare's plays in high school. I guess you could count, say, like, you know, Huck Finn and stuff like that as like a sort of a middle between like old and modern. And that can be a bit weird at times. But it's reasonably legible. So I don't really know what the difference, let's see. Basically in words, the F and the S sounds are almost the same. You have to get what letter it is from the surrounding words. Yeah. And that's another sort of like aspect of education that like I feel like students are failed in, is that to a certain extent, you kind of have to be your own island, your own ambassador of learning. So like when you run into something confusing, oftentimes context clues will help you, but a lot of times people won't fucking waste their time on that. Let's see. Row of 5, row of 6. 4 rows of 5 plus 4 rows of 6. I'm recounting my my balance because this shit over here is choosing to be weird. Can always try other angles. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 10. Plus 1 or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh. I'm redoing my math there because if I only have 70, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so that is indeed correct. So 4 rows of 6, 4 rows of 5, plus 10, plus 16 comes down to 70. So 472 minus 50 divided by 70 is going to be 6.02. Yep. I was tempted to tell Bo that, but it was like, whatever. He'll figure that. He'll hear about that well ahead of me even coming to him with that. Let's see. Divided by 7.5. So that should be 80.380.952. True, true. Let's see. Ba ba ba. Ba 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 da ba ba ba. Yee. Yeah, there wasn't that many games that I'd say I was like, you know, stoked for on that list of PC games. Some of them were interesting. All of these generate the power. These are all fuel plants. When I got them up and going yesterday, my production capacity skyrocketed. My issue here is currently that I'm trying to get fluid into these to get them to run, like, actually consistently. This is looking like it's working. Do I need that? Do I even need that? Observe. Okay, there we go. There we go. Might be a little bit inefficient on the water side, but it'll always produce a little bit more than this necessarily needs. That's producing at a decent keel, so. And I don't need these. Get out of my inventory. I don't need this either. I'm not producing a super duper fast amount. I should go check the MAM. But yeah, all of this is kind of like the 2.0 variant of like me originally putting it together in my off-stream struggle file. Let's see, that would be under sulfur. Okay, so what I need to do is get ammo under production. I think I will guide a bit of a stretch. I'm taking it all. I'm taking all of this stuff. I cannot wait until drones, even though that will probably be a bear to set up as well. Logistics. Hi. ultimately, the ideal, I would say, is if everything winds... No. No. Winds up over in the grasslands. Everything that I need, anyways. Oh, yeah. This is all by the sea and whatnot, and I'd kind of prefer to have, like, you know, stuff like this at easy access. Especially because at some point, I'm going to be dismantling this power array. Because it's mostly there just to consume, you know, petrol coke. Let's see. Also going to see about feeding this over here. And amping up my plastic and rubber production. Right now, this is working pretty decently. Okay, so... that doesn't need to be anything. Petrol 120. 120. 120. Okay, you are producing 240. 6, 12, 18, 24. Whatever I do, it's gonna cause some major changes. And probably consume my power shards a bunch. But in my opinion, power shards are about, like, space and limit, so for extractors, that's fine. Yep. I know about that. I've I've seen the War Beast gif where he gets quote unquote blood on himself and licks it up. Which brings me to the question, I can't remember, is ZZZ Chinese or Korean? Ha! So what that means, Chonka, is that Banyue is full of white. If he's got robo blood anyways. Wait, does he actually have on-screen blood? Oh! Okay. Saved from the implications. I find China's censorship choices oddly baffling because, like, as somebody who used to play WoW pretty consistently, yeah, as like EA put it, bones are a no-go. Which you'd think, okay, why is that an issue? The undead. The undead have exposed bones and tissue. Not to mention that when you die in that game, you leave behind a skeleton. But in the Chinese version, you leave behind not a skeleton, but like a tombstone. Okay, you're coming over here. So if I were to increase the amount consumed, the amount produced, $130. All of these belts can take $480. Which means 480 divided by, what are machines I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6. Let's assume that I devote 3 to 3. That would be 160. And if I were to increase these to 160, it'd be 123, consuming 73.846. 73.846 times 6. Okay, that's not a bad amount. And I'd have to... $80 divided by... $86.667. It's 5 machines. $480 divided by 5. 96. So I'd need to... Can it go up to 96? No, it only goes up to 90. Okay, so 96 divided by 60 is 160. There we go. So these are all going to be screwing up. Okay, so I've got 480 on 3 machines here. 480 divided by 3 was 160. So 160, copy, copy. I'm so gonna run out of these things. Copy, 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 capiche, a peach. I could compress this down. This is probably a good split up, but I'm going to... It's inevitable that's gonna fuck up, so I'm just gonna change this. Ugh. Oh, yeah, no, that can't work. Now this is how many machines again? 6. Okay. Okay. There we go. May as well. So I've got 480 over here. it comes to... Oh, right. These things consume an absolute buttload of this stuff. So, at the standard supply, 480 divided by 40. I would need 12 machines. So in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I wanted to get that working, I would need to do 240. 240? 480 divided by 96. Okay, it's working. But yeah, thanks for sending that to me, Chanka. Since it's actually like a scene from something, I can't show it on stream, so I'll check it after stream. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have too many machines. 480 divided by 3. Okay. For these, I don't need to worry much. They are set up correctly. But for that, 480 divided by 4, 120. I can actually retrieve back these are my rubber fab ones. Yeah, didn't even consider. No, I am deleting that. Organization, fluid buffer purely for Okay, am I seeing any Mark 1s? Okay, good. Okay, so these are consuming 73.846 times 3. Plus 55.385 times 4. So I need to produce 4, let's go with 450. producing a little bit of excess to keep it up with it. Gotta get this set up, so. Splitter, moisture. One of these days I'm gonna get to the grasslands. One of these days. That looked symmetrical from the side. Did I mention last stream that I accidentally had a fire in my kitchen the other day? Not a big one, but like, yeah, so it's like one of those cases where you like accidentally light fire to something in a pan and you're like, oh shit. And you have to deal with your like quick reflexes. It was simple enough. It was in a tall pot. Oh yeah, fucking no, never use water. The best approach is literally always just slide the lid over top. If it is a lidded pot or pan, slide a lid over top. Just snuff the flames. It is that simple. Other than that, you can also throw baking soda on it, because baking soda releases carbon dioxide as it heats. There's a reason why certain brands and types of fire extinguisher use baking soda. But yeah, I was trying to make a stew. I was preheating my pot to sear the meat, and I think I overestimated the thickness and like, resistance to heating up that the pot I was using has. And I was also underestimating just how hot the mid setting or the like mid-high, because it was medium-high, on my stove's left element is. Either way, I poured olive oil into it a little bit, immediate combustion. Was not a fun sight. Yeah, a little bit anxiety inducing immediately afterwards, but then like also, actually I'm gonna, but also that's how I learned that burnt olive oil smells fucking bad. Like, burnt stuff in general doesn't smell good. This was so acrid that, like, I couldn't open the pot to check if it was, like, still, like, burning or smoldering for, like, the better part of an hour afterwards. And even approaching it to clean it was a practice in personal willpower, let's just say. Okay, so these 4 will produce 18.462 times 4. And these bitches will produce plus 3 times 24.615. So just under 150 units of, or cubic meters of heavy oil. Yeah, having... This actually draws a question. Do you have skunks in Europe? Like, I'm not sure, like... I'm sure you've heard of, like, the Warner Brothers character Pepe Le Pew, the skunk. Okay, yeah, so... If you've ever seen those old cartoons... You know, like... Make no mistake, it is not an exaggeration. Skunks will spray you, and it will make you want to puke. Because it's like a weird mixture of garbage, spoiled garlic, and other things. And it is a cloying ass smell. Like, when I say cloying, I mean, you know, I used to have dogs, and occasionally they'd find a skunk and harass them in our yard, and they would get sprayed for it. Now, of course, they'd freak out and run to somewhere safe. Somewhere safe was inside the house. And getting that out off of your dog is a practice in almost futility. Because you have to use specific shit like, I think, lemon and baking soda combined? I don't know. Are a usual go-to for, like, getting that off. But, like, it only, like, slicks it off. Eventually you kind of have to tolerate a bit. But anything they touch, anything they're around, radiates the stench for, like, a good while afterwards. It is so bad. I'm kind of blessed by the simple fact that, at the risk of saying something really lewd, my gag reflex is not that, overtuned. And never really has been. Okay, so let's put a few of these down. Okay. Divide by 4. 36. Okay. $36, 92, 325. And these will produce... Wait, what? Oh. No. Wait. No. That's wrong. Divide by 40. Okay. 92.308125. And skunks are pretty prominent in, like, city areas. Like, they just kind of are. You kind of just want to give them a wide berth because they, you know, can threat response at you pretty readily. Yeah. Kind of frustrating too, because I used to have this neighbor. Not a bad person per se, but her lack of fucks to give about like the indolence of her own yard, was kind of a problem. Okay, so these are going to output 4, 8, 12. So just a little bit under 480. So, and I won't have to dismantle this. It'll still produce, actually. $25 per minute. I might. 24 per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I kind of want to like keep a chunk of the petroleum coke. So I'm going to probably end up setting that down once this is all going. Yeah. Certain animals have responded better to human habitation than others. Like, funnily enough, so, there's kind of like a meme when it comes to Canada and what's known as the Canadian goose. Lovely aesthetic. Like, they have like a great sort of like, coat of feathers with like, lovely like browns, whites, and black colors. Like, there's a reason why like they're kind of considered like, iconic in my country. They're also fucking horrible, evil beasts. Most people do not like fucking with them, but the problem is that they will gather in parks and open fields and in your yard. And the reason for that is because they like open pasture land. And humans have a tendency to make open pasture land for like, ease of use in cities. So they're technically, by all rights, an invasive species in my area of the country. Like a mild of invasive species because we've basically made more areas for them to gather. Okay, so got this almost set up. I've got that wrongly set up. I've got these faced the wrong way. The main goal with all of what I'm doing right now is that I fully intend to, have this all set up so that I have like a bumper crop of various resources to just tap into in the grasslands. Ugh. Okay, so. That's all set up. Okay. 480 plastic all its own. These are all set up to take. 96, 96, 96, 96. 480 divided by 5 is 96, so that's all correct. Eh. Hey, pal. Oh, I can put it that close. Okay. Do I have a lofted? No. Why don't I have a lofted splitter? Oh, I do have a lofted splitter. Ugh. Go away, you stupid sulfur mound. I threw that out. Go away. Cool. I've been tempted to order a new headset because the vinyl cushioning on this one's peeling. And truth be told, I haven't really been satisfied with it. Mostly because, yeah, it squishes my ears. It hurts to wear over long hours. Okay. 32 times 5. I mean, that's fair. That's a lot of water. 96 times 5. Divided by 2. 240. Get one of these back. These should be set up now. That is still correct. These are still 18. 18, where was it? Okay, fine. 18.462 times 4. Plus 24.615 times 3. So 147 divided by 4. $36,923. Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Ah, yes, that's why it was starting to warble like that. It's like, why is my power grid getting kind of inconsistent? What's causing that? We need an unpaid intern for the math and grunt work. Look, I feel like if I were to play this with somebody, that would ultimately still have to be me. Because I'm the most ingratiated with the math. You don't have enough water, of course. Two, three, four, five. 5 times 9, 96. 5 by 2, so 240. Might be that it's just too high. Yeah, it's because it's too high. Let's observe that a bit. Also have to hook these into this. So 5 produces 5 times, no, 5 times 48. Ugh. I... How do I fucking ban these fuckers? It only allows me to just click a button to restrict / ban. Tedious, atheist, J-bet. Is that a jab? Is that a jab at me? I can be pretty tedious. I swear to fucking God. Go away. Yeah, that's right. Fuck off. Fuck right off. Okay. There we go. So I got 310 of combined, so that should over... The words shouldn't exited my mouth, and then it was like, shouldn't is a very difficult word to work with. Reminds me in Girl Genius how, like, at one point when the main character is possessed by her mother's mind, she's basically like, so have you tracked down these people in the castle? And, you know, like, she's talking to, I think, Tarvek, and he's like, yeah, no, but it should be impossible for them to do anything about this at this point. And she's just like, I do dislike the word impossible. Are these... This is not properly connected. Damn it. Okay. I'm just gonna drag out and throw away that. Better than just dealing with it being like aggregate for a real long time. It's not like I need fucking raw resin on me at all times. Let's see. You're not getting backed up, are you? Okay, you're not getting backed up. What about you? What if... Oh, that is backed up. Why is that backed up? Is it because these are not properly working? It is. You know what? Because I have to use a lot of water. It's got its own pipe structure. There we go. The only one here at all struggling. Oh yeah, that's climbing. How about you? You're absolutely climbing. Okay. Yes, that was the right way to go about it. One of these days I'm gonna have to ask somebody on the Satisfactory, like, subreddit. There's an actual, like, mathematical amount that one should concern themselves with when running, like, fluid through pipes. You know what? For the sake of evening this out... I'm also going to put this here. What about you? How are you doing? Water. 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 Okay, all of the water is being taken away. All of the water is being taken away. It's properly being extracted. That is capped out. That is capped out. That is capped out. And then we are golden. Should I make use of this in another way? You know, I probably could get away with it. Let's first run my fuel pipelines and my my coke pipeline. How about you? How are you doing? It seems like percentages are improving. Have I perhaps overtuned something? No, looks like it's fine. I should redo my math. 24,615. No, that's wrong. 24.615 times 3 plus 18.462 times 4 divided by 4. So each of these should be using 36,923, 36,923, 36,923, 36,923. This one is climbing. I wonder if it would be advantageous to put a pipe valve on these. Let's put... Yeah, let's split it like that. That's certainly climbing. That's consistent. That doesn't feel consistent. Let us... Let's just, for the sake of it. Okay, that's climbing in efficiency. And that's climbing in efficiency. Don't drop. I'd like to see you as 100% efficient at some point. What about my power? Power is looking 100% efficient. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This can run to... bit ugly, but really it's going to be like that anyways because I can't do anything about it. Okay. Zoop. Oh. I must have changed something and forgotten to alter it. And that's been sitting there for God knows how long. So, while it's there... Plastic. 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 What do you mean no power? Fuck you. Come back this way. Bitch. You need a new, need new cabooses. Cabuses. Ugh. Stretchy, stretchy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Needs to be 6 cars long. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got nothing currently there. But I am gonna get something. Let's make this the inside of the round. The way I see it, by the time that I have to ever concern myself with what am I going to do with the rest of this other shit, you know, I'm probably not going to be too, too pressed about it. You know what? No, that's going to be the left one, the outermost. There we go. Nah, they just take shit so long as there's shit to take. That's why you gotta be, like, you do have to have some concern about, like, whether you have something to, like, offload, you know, before or after the train. Easy enough for dry substances, but for fluid substances, you know, not exactly as easy. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to go all the way over there right fucking now. It hasn't received anything yet, but it will on its way back. Turn off. Basically, because I added these cars to the end of the station, the end result is that the stations kind of like invert your you know, like there's no deliberate inverting. It's literally just like you're going one way and then turning around and going the other way. What was once your tail is now your you know, your neck. So you got to make sure that like at the other end, you know, there's stations to receive it. Otherwise, if it's like out of order, it'll be picking up stuff that will wind up getting offloaded into the wrong bays. Come on. Rabbit hop. Yeah. It's not like world ending because I haven't done anything with the stuff yet, but like it is kind of an agony. Oh, it's an even bigger agony because I gotta move all this shit out over. Let's see. Yeah. See, that's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be there at all. Okay, so wind up here, which means I actually have to move this over several. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is actually pushing into quite bad territory. I'm gonna have to... This is suffering. Okay. You know what? Since I'm having to move all this shit now. Fuck off. Stop it. You know what? You each get an awesome sink all your own. You get 2, in fact. 1 for each input. Trains are one of those things that I kind of trip up on a lot because, like, a lot of what it is trial and error and having to, like, keep a lot of things in the back of your mind. There's a reason why I don't do some of the more exorbitant stuff people do on the subreddit. All right. I really need to visit the urination station, as Bo would put it, so I'm gonna let that, like, drain while I drain the lizard. Be right back. Okay. Ugh. I'm just letting it, like, empty out like that while I do this to speed things along. Because I'm going to have to essentially redo this entire fucking thing. My logic is, by the time I reach any sort of point where I'm doing anything else... Yeah. By the time I'm doing anything else that, like, would demand me do something more, like, complicated with the you know, like, transport and logistics, I'll probably have drones, and I won't need to worry about trains over much. Okay. Okay. I'm going to need... I'll fucking extend this out this way, actually. Freight platform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven. 8. It's as many as I can go before it starts bitching about uneven surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to put a spacer probably here. Actually, yeah. The reason for that is a spacer, as in, like, an empty slot, you know, just something to, like, create a space. And the reason for that is I'm trying to have a little bit of foresight. Because in the very next phase, I get into aluminum production. And aluminum production's pretty neat. But it is also pretty frustrating. It's a, like, okay, so you mine bauxite, which is the raw ore, and then you have to refine it into aluminum slurry, which is, like, nah, not a space elevator. I've got that already. It's right over there. But yeah, so like aluminum production, you mine bauxite, you refine that into an aluminum slurry, which you then either carry away in containers or in fluid form. I tried in containers initially, but I think it's a little bit more efficient to do it on a tanker, which is a separate setup than this. It's it doesn't have a different car on the train, but it does have a different platform. And then, like, once you've got the slurry, you have to refine that into aluminum scrap, which you can then produce into actual, like, aluminum bars. And also, you absolutely 100% want the special recipes for this, because aluminum slurry production produces silica as a byproduct, and silica, while useful in ways, is a frustrating product to account for. I would prefer more to produce silica directly from crystal than I would to have, like, silica be, like, a thing I have to worry about. I think I'll actually add one more. No, I probably can't fit it. So I'm gonna have to add a cart to one end of my train. I'm also going to have to remember to set these all to offload, offload, unload. This is, of course, how you tell the game, hey, by the way, take the shit, like, off the train. It's load by default, and it will not load if you do not have something there. I'll just preemptively make this a fluid freight. All right, yeah. Yep. I'm now into the turbo oil, which launches me into the air, but I do have to be a lot more conscientious with it. If push comes to shove and I do not care for the end result of, like, that train platform, I probably might make another one following along this track here. And departing probably elsewhere. Probably to the lower area, because, like, when I was first, like, playing in the grasslands in my first file, I had my aluminum production in the kind of, like, area near the precipice. It was a big factory. It was actually pretty nicely built, in my opinion, at least. Wait, where is the train? Where did it go? I went right past it. Spacer. Okay. Let's make considerations in advance. There we go. You. Actually. If I come around like that, yeah, okay. Here we go. Actually kind of mad when it came to the dispatch streams because great game. But I found out only right before my last stream that Twitch has 3 listings for a game named Dispatch. There are 3 individual games named Dispatch with no other telltale information to discern them. Which you'd think, okay, not that big of a deal. But see, up until then, I was setting things mostly on the OBS side of things, where it allows you to like type in what you want Twitch to list you as. And the thing is, I was picking Dispatch. I was picking another Dispatch, like an obscure ass game I've never heard of. Yo, go me playing an otherwise like well-known, like, critically acclaimed game during like kind of close to the height of its, fame, and getting none of that traffic because I was listed for some like, 2 for a penny indie game I've never heard of. Right, I need a bumper or else it derails. And I don't want that. Okay. Okay. Honestly, I like using tankers more than packaging stuff, so I don't mind, like, putting in the effort. Okay. Hopefully this is the last time I have to, like, smidge Baken. No. Yeah, that's not your name now. You are Smegmaville. And how drained is this? Okay, that's pretty empty. Okay. I don't know why, but I was reminded of this thing I used to do to, like, well, people, but I did it to Bo a few times, where, like, in WoW, I'd be like, hey, could you hold this stuff for me? And I'd hand him some, like, actual nonsense from my bags. And he's like, okay. And it's like, yeah, thanks for holding my garbage for me. You can have it. And he's like, go fuck yourself. It is. I've done that to my sister at least a few times. Yes, I know it's a dick move. Okay. Got nothing run. Oh, right. I've been doing all this building and shit like that, and I want to say everything down here has been, like, off for a while. Because I didn't have power for any of it. Oh, I'm out of encased industrial beams. That is very much a bad thing. What's powering this shit over here then? Why is all this shit off? Oh, it was powered by that. It was powered by hopes and prayers. Got it. First and foremost. I like putting these at high places so they're, like, not in the way and you got some altitude to work with. Wire's too long. What about you? Okay, there we go. Good that it caught that, because yeah, that was desperately close to screwing me over. And I need to maybe power up things again. so that I've got resources to spare. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. What about you? Do you have stuff on you yet? Let's set this up. Why is this not going? I said turn on, you bitch. I figure once I'm capped out for that and that, I should be good. I'm gonna throw out some stuff from my bags though. Any technology I'm missing out on? Rail signaling. Hypertubes. Hypertubes are a method of locomotion in like areas, but they're not really my favorite. I remember Psyche trying to like guide me through setting up how to like make one that would shoot you like far and away, like market gardening. And couldn't for the life of me get it to work because it's not technically the like intended purpose. It was frustrating and kind of, you know, setting them up was kind of annoying too. Well, that's at least properly deposited. As is that, as is that. All roughly where they need to be. And that's nothing currently. Planet harvesting goes well. That kind of makes me want to play Planet Crafters. They released a new planet a little bit ago called Toxic. I benched it because I didn't want to have to redo like the planet I'd already done. And the second planet they added, I hit a major wall because certain resources were scarce when they shouldn't have been. Ooh. This is a blasting machine. It literally like for, you know, igniting TNT. The world God knows only, the world God only knows. You mean, oh fuck. World God only knows. For some reason, I'm associating that with Haruhi Suzumiya. One sec. The world God only knows. Because I don't... Nope, never watched that. Why do you ask? Okay, so that's set up. And I'm letting shit kind of accumulate. I want to have 200 of that before I even start dismantling all this stuff. This needs a lot of screws. All right, isn't it like the main character gets isekai'd into a romance game, or he gains romance game abilities? Some animes are a classic. They you have staying power. Let's turn you off. Let's turn you off. Turn you... You're already off, I think. Yeah, you're already off. I'm gonna move this actually. I'll move it. Where should I place that? Over here. Nice and out of the way. Ow. All right. That aspect. Is it kind of like reconnects it every time? Let's find that kind of cool. Space elevators are kind of are cool, but at the same time, the idea of something so large that like an impact could cause it to like, you know, come down upon the Earth in a catastrophic way, you know. Might have to model something off stream. Yeah. I'm kind of like closing down all this to make sure that it's like got nothing in it once it's like, you know, set to motion. Because it's going to get a major overhaul. All of this is getting like completely redone. Let's see. Let's actually bring up Satisfactory tools. Satisfactory calculator, games, blueprints, worktop. Stable, no, not that. Planner. Production planner. Let's bring up this as a window. Window capture. Satisfactory tools. There we go. Transform. Stretch the screen. Shrink you down. That way it's known what I'm doing rather than doing something out of stream. Okay, so I need to make winding. No. Wire. Okay. You're used in adaptive control unit. Adaptive. And engine. Modular engine. Did that just fuck with things? Okay, it didn't. Okay. I am going to need to take a look at my tree list. Items. How do I set my recipes? Options. I have no mods in. Is this the right website? Satisfactory tools. The wrong website. Okay. I'm just trying to sim something. A lot of this game does kind of require a little bit of like outside. I wouldn't say require. It desires outside like, sources for planning shit in advance. Adaptive. And there's like 3 different websites to do what I'm essentially doing here. So let's see. Recipes. For that, I've got... Let's go over to the MAM and see what we can fish out. Iron alloy, that's a good one to have. I fucked myself into that. Currently not in desperate need of that, so... Actually, that would be nice. Compacted coal. Wait, no. I don't have compacted coal down here. I don't want to have to factor that in. But I could have factored it in off to the side. Whatever. No. You. No. Fine. Crystal wire. So I'm not sure I have all the recipes. Certainly don't, actually. Got basic. Iron alloy. Coke. Copper alloy. It's good to know. Iron plates. Got none of the special ones. Not that. Stitched. Coated. Fused. Fused wire and Caterium wire. Concrete. Rubber concrete. Fine concrete. Fine concrete is actually one that I have access to, but I also have fine black powder, so I'll click that while I'm here. that. Got that, got that. Screws. Let's check. Rotor. Got copper and steel. I've got steamed copper. Yeah, it's been quite a few years. Modular. Okay, well, let's actually go there. Frame. So I have bolted and steeled. I don't have any of the special things for smart plating. Nothing for raw crystal. Tempered. Nothing special there. Nothing special there. Solid. Got that. Molded. Flexible. I guess I'll list that. No, no. Stator, quick wire. Rigor. Silicon. Silicon circuit board. Caterium circuit board. Silicon high speed. Crystal. Crystal computer. Frame. Heavy and heavy. Heavy flexible and heavy encased. Okay. Production. Inputs. I have as many inputs as there are available here, but my limits are... I don't got that. I don't got that. I don't got a converter either, and I don't got a blender. Is there any way to tell it that I only have a certain... I guess that would be inputs. Alright, so... got as much water as I want, but I've got none of that. I'm going to assume... I've got that. Got as much as I want out of that. I can't use... What do you fucking... What do you mean we couldn't calculate? What are you asking for? Oh, plastic. That's a lot of plastic you're asking for. For how much now? Visualize. There are upper limits on what I can do. Let's go off and give a guesstimate on how much plastic I have in production. Plastic. Yeah, it's weird to think back to like things in the past and be like, oh, that was a long time ago. I'm the type of person who agonizes over things I did many years ago that offended or hurt somebody. And then I'll be like, wait, that was 20 years ago. Get the fuck over it, man. Well, since I've been here for a while, and I do need to set this up. $12 times 10. Okay, how about 12 divided by 25? 48%. 48. Let's set up plastic usage of this resin. So, because I'm letting stuff run down over back there and was getting ready to sim all this. Let's get an idea for our inputs. So this is only consuming 25, 75 a minute. There are 18 machines over here producing minus 75. There's still 245 plastic resin over here. Man, Blizzard's one of those like, you know, developers where it's like, I'm like, am I really that old? I mean, it took us only this many expansions to get into a content that like we've been wanting to see for years. Like, Cultiris was like, what? We're on to like 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 4 expansions ago. But like, the game was like 15, 20 years old at the time that they finally got there. To say that they went to space a wee bit too early is an understatement. No, actually, the worst part is we went to space twice. We went to space 3 times before we ever went to Cultiris. Okay, Outlands, Legion, and Warlords of Draenor. Let's see. Divided by 2. Okay. So. Um. 502 divided by 60 is 204. 204.17. There we go. I really liked the garrison system, and I'm sad that they basically like, you know, they were like, oh well, this is like big lame, so we're not going to do this sort of thing again. It's like, it's big lame because you put everything on it. I mean, okay, but it's still counted as going to space again. Like, Kultiris is like an island nation on Azeroth. Imagine if we like didn't even hit the age of sail, you know, in like Europe, where like the colonization of like the new world happened, and we just immediately went into space, left the entire like North American and South American continent as like whole ass question marks to like Western society. Oh yeah, okay, I was about to say, because like technically we didn't get ninjas, we got monk. The closest we've ever had to ninjas is rogue in, I think, subterfuge. I don't hate on WoW too much because, like, honestly, like, you can generally get some fun out of it. You know, even now. But, you know, still. But yeah, it's like, I remember the garrison system, how I made mad money just doing like the board stuff. And oh shit, I actually do need smart. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. Huh, so you basically glitched out the expansion and couldn't do anything? You couldn't finish the garrison mission and had like a few hundred people in my garrison, and even outside there was nothing. Because I was like always on top of the garrison in every way. It was like genuinely my favorite content. It's just that past a certain point, like, what was there to fucking do? Like, you genuinely were basically just base bitching your way through the game. Like, honestly, it was so bad that you literally couldn't do you literally couldn't do your crafting without essentially dedicating yourself to your garrison and having like a fucking feed of like the resources from it. I made mad bank off of that, but like it was frustrating how it's like, oh yeah, now you have to like account for you know, all this nonsense. It's like, whatever. Eh. Okay, so I need 40.834. I could bring something over, but I think I'll just put down another water extractor. This is so messy. $40.834 times 2. I'm sorry, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Going up, it's going up, and this is slowly but surely filling the pipe. Warlords of Draenor was also kind of a hilarious moment of like the Horde get like, yo, like taking the dick rather hard, because honestly the Horde content sucked. Like, I gave it a shot, I did not care for it. Their garrison was in the ugliest place they could have picked in fucking, the fucking, area it was in. Like, Genuinely, I don't know why they picked, you know, a frosty ass fucking like corner of nowheres. Fucking. In addition to that, it looked uncozy as hell. Like, we're talking like wooden palisades that looked barely like they'd hold out the wildlife, let alone attacking like, you know, people of the opposing faction. Everything's a leather tent with spikes. Everything. To the point that they memed on this. They literally had like an undead lady who was into spikes be like, want to buy placeable spikes? I'm really into spikes. Compared to like the like actually pretty pristine garrison of the like, you know, Alliance, which is in like the absolutely picturesque Shadow Moon Valley. Yeah, that's another thing. Fucking Shatrath was supposed to actually be like the main capital. The garrisons weren't supposed to be like the only place you could collect, and Asheron was not supposed to be the capital. You know, it was not supposed to be. It was supposed to be Shatrath. We were supposed to go into Shatrath. We were supposed to see... Actually, no. It wasn't supposed to be Shatrath. There was no plans on having a joined one. Shatrath was a raid. Was going to be a raid. But again, we were supposed to see the interior of unexploded Shatrath. But, no. It was supposed to be... fucking Karabor. You know, the pretense of like the precursor of Black Temple was supposed to be the Alliance place. The Horde place was supposed to be that like mountain place, that like citadel that you like go to and like take out. And the thing is, like, they even had it kind of like semi set up for that if you like took a glance at it. But they just kind of decided, nah, we're going to make it Asheron. I really didn't like Asheron. Like, visually it was okay, but like, it was so much ado about nothing. Warlords was just wasted potential, the game. Like, genuinely, like, absolutely wasted potential. Okay, I've got that set up. So 40.834 times 2. Plus... Ah! $32 times 5. So I've got like 160. No, wait, no. I did that wrong. 3, 4, 5, 6, right? No, wait, no. I did that right. I mean, in-game footage really is that way already. Like, you'll notice that they have to always preface it with like, yo, this isn't pre-rendered. Let's see. 160, so 48 times 5. So I've got 240 rubber and 160 plastic. If I'm desperate for more, I can always throw in some of my Sommer sloops. Honestly, I've heard so many things when it came to Warlords, but the one thing that I've heard most was that the reason why, like, a lot of it got fucked up was quite literally because of, like, the most asinine of, like, DEI stuff. Like, fucking, not even DEI. It wasn't DEI at that point. It's quite literally, somebody was like, I don't like that Urel's story is so contingent on men and also has like, you know, TOS violations as a backstory. And I also don't like that she's connected to everybody. She needs to be her own person. Yeah, because, of course, women in fiction need to be an island unto themselves. No framework, no basis, no anything supporting them. They have to do it all themselves. You know, last I heard, that was called toxic masculinity when it's applied to men. And that guys making everything about themselves is quote-unquote man pain and whatnot. But I guess when, like, a woman does it, it's empowering. They scrapped Titan and had to re-implement most of the Titan members who, into WoW. Some made Overwatch out of the rest from Titan. Sincerely, that's, like, kind of fucked up that, like, an addition of new members fucked everything up. You'd think they'd slot them in, bring them aside and be like, hey, yeah, so this is what we're doing, this is what we're working on, this is currently what we've got going. Okay, I've got 160, 240. So my inputs are already inputs. Plastic. Rubber. $160. $240. Let's assume that I'm not going to be using any more crude oil. We've got plenty of limestone in the area. And I've got coal, but I don't have that much. No, wait, I do. I've got a pure node in... I'm gonna have to check that. All right. I've got petrol coke ready and willing. But how much? I've got 4 times 110.77 minus 10 raised 12. I've got 323 petrol coke. Oh, wait, no. 323. That's nice to see. Yeah. It's like cringe whenever I see somebody's all like, oh, it's Cassidy or whatever his name is now. And I'm like, and I'll be like, McCree, and they'll be like, no, they renamed him to Cassidy because I honestly don't care. He was literally called McCree to begin with. Just because you're a little bitch doesn't mean I have to be too. Okay. Yeah, here in North America, we still have the phrase "too many cooks in the kitchen." You know, it's the same basic principle. You know, just like having too many people fucking trying to have their own opinions heard or their own input or being involved. It's the reason why project management is like itself like a thing you need to learn. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of industries kind of suffer from, shall we say, like an inordinate amount of like aggregate bullshit. You know, a lot of stuff that isn't really necessary in the grand scheme. A lot of people whose roles are like kind of just very make work. You know, consultants to like, you know, show that like somebody spent that money for a purpose. Governments are real bad for that because virtually every country in the world hires psychics. Like, when you really like look into it, you know, pretty much every country's like prime minister or whatever has like a like chief psychic that they interact with. Probably not often, but it is basically somebody on the payroll. I'm reminded of like the TV series from England called The Crown, which is like about it's about Queen Elizabeth II. And at one point, the dude's basically like critiquing like, you know, the royal family's budget and how like they're paying various people to do various jobs. One dude's like paid an absurd amount to do one thing. But the thing is, he's only paid when he's doing that one thing, which he does like once every 50 years because it's involved in the coronation. And he's kept on the books insofar as they acknowledge him as like having a royal position. But when he's not doing that, he's a fisherman. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of times the behaviors of governments and corporations mimic that of like royals. But whereas like royals will be like, well, we've had this dude since time immemorial because he has a like an actual ceremonial role. A corporation or a government will just hire a person because, well, I mean, once upon a time we used them for that role and like we have no real reason to keep them around. We just do. Okay. I'm getting rid of all this infrastructure. Actually, I am mad hungry. I am very mad hungry. So, give me a moment. I'm sending y'all off to my buddy Mander Monster. Right, Mander Monster. Because I'm super duper hungry, like intensely. So, you know, I'm gonna end stream because we're past 3 hours. You know, this technically was listed as a 4-hour stream, but like I'm probably just gonna like end up doing a lot of cleaning up before doing anything. So, you know, literally, like, it's not going to be the most exciting thing. Anyways, you know, I will be back tomorrow with, I believe, Where Winds Meet again. And, you know, after that, it's the weekend. But until then, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a good evening. For those of you who are new viewers, I appreciate a follow, but I don't demand a subscription because, that is grubby. Yeah, but if not, enjoy the rest of your evening. I've been PaladinAshe, and I am signing off.